Hi everyone. I am really sorry, first of all, that it has taken me so long to do another TES Talks. I have been so busy, but amazing things have been happening. And I think the last time I did a TES Talks, I was in Edmonton and I was filming Cut Bank. And since then, I've come back to Los Angeles and I'm filming The Ever After, which is the movie that Mark, my fiance, yes, that happened too. He and we wrote it together and we're producing it together and he's directing it. And I'm starring in it and he's starring in it, and it's been such a busy time in our lives, but a really amazing journey. So I'm really sorry that it's taken me so long. Okay, I have the morning off, so I'm doing this now. Okay, today I wanted to talk about the art of surrendering and giving up control. And this is something that I really struggle with. One of the main things that people know about me is that I am a planner. I plan everything out. I try and predict the future. I try and manipulate the future. I, you know, I obviously manifest, which is, something that I'm really happy to be able to do. But something that really goes against that is the idea of trying to really control things. And I do that in my career, I do that in my life, I do it with my friendships, I do it with plans. You should see my journals. I write down the next 10 years of my life and my goals and what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be this age and I'm going to have this many children, I'm going to be living here, anyway, it is exhausting. And I know I'm not the only person who does this. I was reading one of my favorite websites, which you should all go to. It's called tinybuddha.com. I've got some notes on the side here, so I'll be referring to them. And what I think, whenever I read that website, I feel completely inspired. And I happened to stumble upon this article about control, which really sort of spoke to me. And what I realized is that control is fear-based. It is always rooted in fear of the unknown, fear of letting go and allowing the universe to bring to you the gifts that it has in store for you. And so what I do sometimes to wrap my head around that notion is really think about my life. Have I ever been completely disabled by something that has happened to me? Have I ever not been able to come back from some form of adversity? And the answer is no. I have always been okay. I've always moved through things, no matter how dark they are or how scary they are, and I'm always brighter and I can be a much happier person on the other side of those experiences. So I know my challenge is to trust and let go and understand that everything will be okay, will be okay. And I think it was Einstein who said that we have to choose whether we believe in a harmonious universe or a universe that is rooted in hate. I think I wrote the exact thing here. The most important decision we make is whether we believe that we live in a friendly or a hostile universe. And I believe we live in a friendly universe and that I will be taken care of, even if it's not exactly how I had planned it all out. Even if it's not, all the little ducks are lined up perfectly in a row. What I want in my life is to be free to experience the things that I'm supposed to experience without trying to manipulate them and control them and line them all up in a certain way. I truly crave real. I crave real. I do not crave perfect, even though sometimes I feel like in my life I want everything to look perfect, and whatever the idea of perfect is in my head, this is what I want to create for my life. But more so than anything else, what I believe in is authenticity and real. And to me, real is raw and it's imperfect, and it's that beauty that we find in the imperfect. So once I understand that to be my truth, then I'm okay. And I allow things to come into my life that may have seemed scary before or may not quite fit into my plan. And in my notes here, I talk about how we become attached to a specific outcome, and we become attached to an idea of what we want things to look like. And maybe those things aren't the best things for us. And who are we to know what's the right way for us or the perfect thing for us? Are we always right? I feel completely humbled in my life many times over when I believe something to be true and I give my opinion, and you realize you're not right, and that person's not right, and that person's not right. It's all just opinions. It's not one person's right or one person's wrong. All you can really know and speak is your truth, and finding out what your truth is very different to forcing an opinion. So when my opinions are, this is the best way for me, this is what I have to do, then it becomes really destructive. So that's something I'm working on. And then another thing that kind of happens surrounding control for me is I have noticed that, I had a pretty interesting childhood. It was very colorful. I had, it wasn't typical in any way. It was very layered, and I had to become an adult at an extremely young age. And as a result of some of the instability that I had in my life, I became this little warrior. And I always talk about the little warrior inside of us. But it's funny, that has actually come through to bite me in the butt as an adult. Because as a child, I needed to control my environment in order to feel very, very safe, and in order to feel stable. And my sense of control back then really helped move me through my childhood and be where I am today. As a result of that, I'm running up against my ideas around control. And sometimes it can manifest itself in ways in which I try and control other people too. Like my mum or my partner control, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I don't think you should do that. Maybe you should do it like this. You know what? I think you should cook it like this. Can you just maybe try adding the tomatoes, or just, okay, I'll try and let you do that. And it's really difficult for me to just allow that person to have their own experience without coming in and being like, hey, I've got a really good idea. I think you should probably do it like this. And it's not that I'm just offering up a suggestion. I'm really saying, do it my way. And as I've been getting further into my work with my therapist and just doing these talks, which are incredibly therapeutic for me, I can recognize that that's something that I do a lot. It's sort of my default mode. And the very first step in healing oneself is to become conscious of your problems. So I'm very conscious that is something that I do. And when I'm leaving the house and I feel like I have to say something like, just, can you make sure you do it like this? Or can you, babe, don't do it like that. If, the dogs really need to be fed in this way. And could you just leave out a bottle of water? Okay, that'd be great. I just stop myself. And I really have been trying to do that, because you cannot control anyone else. and you don't know what the best outcome is. And sometimes the beauty in the letting go is so magnificent, and you just allow things to come your way and you embrace them, and life feels much grander. And I'll share a little story with you without kind of getting into too much personal detail. But I had a very scary thing happen to me over the past, I guess it happened 2 weeks ago now, almost 2 weeks ago now. And my control self kicked in and was like, I know how I'm going to handle this situation. I'm going to do this, 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 and that. And I was trying to control the other person who was involved. And then suddenly it was almost like a higher power. Something just came and stripped away the fear, which ultimately that's what control is about. And this fear was replaced with this incredible feeling of compassion and love and acceptance. And I can't really take credit for moving my thoughts into that headspace, because the last thing I remember about that whole situation was that I was just really trying to control it and control my feelings and push my way through and warrior my way through the hurt that I was feeling. And then, maybe it was divine intervention, I'm not exactly sure. Or I could have just had some moment of clarity and it just kind of hit me and I met the situation from a much more evolved place. And by letting go, by surrendering to what had come my way, which seemed incredibly overwhelming and at times unsurvivable, I really set myself up to be in a position where all was well, all was beautiful, all was safe and calm, and I just allowed it to happen. And as a result, I am in the best place I've ever been in my entire life, to the point where this almighty scary thing that happened to me was one of the greatest gifts in my life. And I never thought I would say that, but it was really quite a magical experience. And it really was about how I had to shift my perspective and surrender the control. Yeah. I realize I'm at 13 minutes now, so these are getting really long. I hope that made sense. Sometimes I just talk and blab, and anyway, I thought it was an important one because it really speaks to me. I really hope to do this again soon. I promise you I'm gonna try my very best. I've got another 3 weeks of the movie left, and we have 1 day off every week, and I'm gonna try and do this on my next day off again. All right, my loves, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.